Good evening. The time now is 11 p.m. You're now with me, Douglas Elliott. Tonight's top stories. Search for missing submarine continues for the third day. Police see 768 kilograms of drugs in the biggest drug bust of the year, and 2 gangs targeting 24-hour convenience stores arrested. All these and more only on TVS Nightline. We begin with this. Rescuers are racing against time in search of a missing submersible that took passengers to visit the wreckage of the Titanic, as fears intensified over the oxygen level, which lasts for only up to 96 hours. Among those on board, British billionaire and Guinness World Record holder Hamish Harding and Pakistani businessman Shahzada Dawood and his son Sulaiman.
The local media reported that 5 people were on board, 1 pilot and 4 passengers, and that the vessel had the capacity to be submerged for 96 hours. However, it was unclear whether it was still underwater or had surfaced and was unable to communicate. Meanwhile, US and Canadian ships and planes have swarmed the area about 1,450 kilometers east of Cape Cod, some dropping sonar buoys that can monitor to a depth of 3,962 meters.
We were notified by the operator of the submersible vessel that it was overdue, and it had 5 persons on board the submersible. So we're working very closely at this point to make sure that we're doing everything that we can do to locate the submersible and rescue those on board. It is a remote area, and it is a challenge to conduct a search in that remote area, but we are deploying all available assets to make sure that we can locate the craft and rescue the people on board. We've subsequently coordinated with the Canadian Coast Guard and Canadian Armed Forces to deploy additional assets to the scene. The Canadians have had a C-130 aircraft searching as well, in addition to also having a P-8 submarine search aircraft deploy as well, and put sonar buoys in the water in attempt to listen.
The private company that operates the submarine Ocean Gate Expedition said in a statement on Monday that it was mobilizing all options to rescue those on board. The US Coast Guard said earlier on Twitter that a boat on the surface, the Polar Prince, lost contact with the submarine called the Titan about 1 hour and 45 minutes after it began diving towards the site of the Titanic's wreckage on Sunday morning. The expeditions, which cost $250,000 per person, start in St. John's, Newfoundland, before heading out approximately 640 kilometers into the Atlantic to the wreckage site. In order to visit the wreck, passengers climb inside Titan, the 5-person submersible, which takes 2 hours to descend approximately 3,800 meters to the Titanic.
Back home, the police have crippled a drug syndicate in Miri with a seizure of over 768.5 kilograms of illicit drugs of various types, with street value worth more than 47.2 million ringgit, in the biggest drug bust in Sarawak so far this year. Bukit Aman Narcotics Crime Investigation Department and CID Director Dr. Sri Muhammad Kamaruddin Muhammad Din said the drugs brought in from Brazil and Taiwan were seized from 5 different locations in Miri.
Pada 18 Jun tahun 2023, antara jam 1:30 pagi hingga 4 petang, Jabatan Serta Jenayah Narkotik Bukit Aman dengan kerjasama Jabatan Serta Jenayah Narkotik Sarawak telah melancarkan 5 serbuan yang terdiri daripada 1 serbuan di pusat hiburan, 3 serbuan premis dipercayai stor penyimpanan dadah, dan 1 serbuan di kawasan bebas di sekitar Miri, Sarawak. Dalam operasi ini, pihak polis telah berjaya merampas sejumlah 768.5 kilogram pelbagai dadah yang dianggarkan bernilai Ringgit Malaysia 47.2 juta.
The drugs seized include 686.7 kilogram of ketamine, 81.8 kilogram of methylene dioxide methamphetamine (MDMA), and 1.15 gram of aramine, 5 pills. The drugs seized are estimated to be consumed by 2.5 million drug addicts. The police also seized a vehicle worth 80,000 ringgit, cash amounting to 2,800 ringgit, and jewelry. 3 local men aged between 28 and 37 suspected to be involved in drug trafficking were arrested during the operation. All suspects tested positive for drugs, while 2 of the suspects have previous criminal and drug records. They are remanded for 7 days from June 19 to assist in the police investigation. The case is now being investigated under Section 39B of the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952, which carries death sentence or life imprisonment and at least 15 strokes of the cane if convicted.
In other news, the KUCHING police have successfully busted 2 gangs known as the DEBU and MA, who are actively involved in robbing 24-hour convenience stores and house break-ins in KUCHING. KUCHING Police Chief ACP Ashman Baja said the MA gang had 4 suspects, while the DEBU gang had 3 suspects, all between the ages of 18 and 33 years old. The arrest led police to resolve 4 recent gang robberies at 24-hour premises and 10 cases of housebreaking and theft in Stutong and Stampin area.
So dalam kes ini kita telah menangkap 3 suspek. Semua warga tempatan berumur 18 hingga 25 tahun. Juga memiliki pelbagai rekod jenayah, kes-kes yang lampau melibatkan narkotik dan jenayah. Suspek yang kita tangkap ini, geng DEBU, ditangkap red-handed. Pasukan khas yang telah kami tubuhkan berjaya menangkap suspek ini pada 16 hari bulan 6 pukul 5.
Following the arrests, police have also successfully resolved 10 burglary and theft cases reported in the Stutong and Stampin areas, estimating a total loss of 150,000 ringgit. Meanwhile, all 4 local suspects from the MAR gang, aged between 24 and 33 years, were successfully arrested on June 16, 2023 at different locations around KUCHING in less than 20 hours after the incident.
Kita telah berjaya membuat tangkapan terhadap 4 suspek. Mereka ini semua adalah lelaki tempatan, berumur dalam lingkungan 24 hingga 33 tahun. Yang dibuat di beberapa tempat yang berbeza, iaitu ditangkap di kawasan Jalan Merdeka Petrajaya, kawasan Semariang, di kawasan Tabuan dan juga di kawasan Bandaraya.
The DEBU gang suspects are facilitating police investigation under Section 457 of the Penal Code, while the MAR gang suspects are being investigated under Section 395-397 of the Penal Code for armed gang robbery. Ashman further revealed that all members of both gangs have had previous criminal records.
Similarly, police are pursuing new leads in search for the whereabouts of the Tapa lockup detainee. The manhunt, which enters its 9th day, has led the police to expand its search radius.
Kurang dari itu, kita telah masih meneruskan op kesan, op tutup, dan kita lanjut lagi, perluaskan lagi sektor pencarian hingga ke Beratuk dan Pedawan setakat ini. Cuma kita hari start hari ini kita anjakkan lagi, perluaskan sedikit lagi hingga daripada Tapah ke Beratuk hingga ke Siburan. Okay. Kita masih cari penunjuk sama ada dia masih berada di sini ataupun dah keluar daripada negara kita lah.
Meanwhile, one of the detainees was captured at a fishing pond at mile 22nd and was sentenced to a year in prison by the Kuching Magistrate Court on Tuesday, after the 21-year-old identified as Calvin pleaded guilty to the charges read by Magistrate Sharidah Fatimah Azora Wan Ali under Section 224 of the Penal Code. Calvin will be referred to Immigration Department after serving his jail sentence.
Deputy Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Amar Douglas Uga Umbas, stresses the crucial role of an in-depth grasp of big data and recognizing the vast potential of data-driven insights. He said Sarawak can harness this valuable resource to inform decision-making processes, optimizing resource allocation and unlock innovative solutions, thus creating a robust and sustainable future, ensuring the safety and resiliency of its environment while successfully executing its comprehensive development plans.
Uga, in a speech read by Deputy Minister of Infrastructure and Port Development, IR Aidil Lariwu, underscored the criticality of cultivating awareness as a means to uphold the integrity and safety of organizational assets amidst the ever-changing dynamics of the modern work environment.
By embracing innovative risk management strategy and big data ideas, we can reverse the tide of potential hazard and create a safer and more resilient environment.
He said this during the Physical and Infrastructure Asset Management Conference 2023 in Kuching, held on Tuesday. Driven by a steadfast dedication to socio-economic development, Sarawak embarks on a transformative journey that encompasses multifaceted aspects of growth.
I am sure we have a lot of basic agendas in terms of seeing our facility and asset are on par as to our highly anticipated development state of Sarawak in the next decade.
In a collaborative effort between University Malaysia Sarawak, UNIMAS, and SeaWorks Technology Sdn Bhd, the Physical and Infrastructure Asset Management Conference 2023 aimed to shed light on the crucial role of asset management in achieving sustainable development and aligning operational performance. The conference served as a platform for knowledge sharing, fostering innovative ideas and practical insights into leveraging these transformative technologies to enhance decision-making processes and drive operational excellence.
Contractors responsible for the 285.5 million ringgit Batang Egan Bridge project have received a directive to expedite its construction process, making the most of the current favorable weather conditions. Deputy Premier Dato' Amar Douglas Uga Umbas emphasized the urgency to expedite the progress, considering it is currently at 47.28% completion. Spanning an impressive 1.4 kilometers, the Batang Egan Bridge is anticipated to be completed by the first quarter of 2025.
Uga remains optimistic that the project will meet the targeted deadline. Addressing the slight delay, Uga attributed it as a shortage of skilled workers and the unavailability of high-capacity cranes, which has posed challenges during the construction process. However, he commended the contractor's proactive measure of recruiting local villagers to address the manpower shortage issue. Uga also described the Batang Egan Bridge as a game changer for the Egan and Matu areas, as it will greatly enhance accessibility and economic activities in the area.
Now, similarly, Sarawak has set a target to address the lingering issue of sick projects in the state by the end of the year. Deputy Minister of Infrastructure and Port Development, Aidil Lariwu said the goal comes in the wake of a recent decline in the number of troubled projects observed last week. Recognizing the urgency of rectifying the situation, Lariwu and his team have taken proactive measures to identify rescue contractors capable of taking over and reviving the existing sick projects.
After complete, there are many projects. Project sakit, then employer or JKR terminate their project dan diganti dengan rescue contractor. And the list is ongoing, but I'm proud to say list of project sakit now is reducing a lot, maybe more than half. So our target is to have zero project sakit by end of this year. So by way of menggantikan kontraktor yang telah ditamat kontrak dengan kontraktor penyelamat, kontraktor rescue kontraktor.
Furthermore, the Public Works Department, JKR, maintains a list of rescue contractor companies, and they have undergone a screening process to ensure their capability to take over the SIG projects. Addressing the factors contributing to the existence of SIG projects, Aidil explained that one of the main causes is the rise in material prices, especially after the pandemic.
Kenapa banyak projek sakit ialah satu kenaikan harga barang, satu sekatan-sekatan di dalam MCO selama 2 tahun lebih, dan juga apabila berlaku sekatan, pekerja-pekerja pun kebanyakannya sudah tidak ada, sudah balik ke negara asal dan susah untuk balik semula. Itu yang kita lihat banyak faktor projek sakit. Tapi yang paling utama menyebab yang projek sakit ialah kenaikan harga barang, terutamanya diesel dan besi gluli dan macam-macam.
Among the identified SIG projects ahead of schedule is the Marudi Bridge project, with an estimated cost of over 100 million ringgit and expected completion by 2025.
Good news, the citizenship issue in Sarawak is poised to find resolution in August under the purview of the Ministry of Home Affairs. Sarawak's Minister for Women, Childhood and Community Wellbeing, Dato Sri Fatima Abdullah, revealed that the Home Ministry has informed that nearly 1,000 applications will be disclosed by next week. Now, with the disclosure of application responses on the horizon, individuals and families eagerly anticipate an outcome of their citizenship status.
Dan mudah-mudahan langkah yang seterusnya ini janji daripada Kementerian Dalam Negeri by Jun semua permohonan yang diterima iaitu 946 akan selesai, dan ada yang memang sudah menerima jawapan kepada permohonan kita. So janji beliau by the end of June semua akan dapat jawapan, lulus atau gagal, tapi semuanya akan dapat jawapan, dan saya percaya kepada janji beliau.
Furthermore, with the phased distribution of temporary identity documents for stateless individuals in Sarawak or districts, the citizenship issue in Sarawak is expected to be resolved in the near future.
This is the issue that we are going to resolve, insyaAllah. God's willing, bila kita lepas mesyuarat ini, kita akan buat satu backfill dan seterusnya, proses-proses yang perlu dijalankan, dan insyaAllah we hope that by August macam tu isu ini dapat kita selesaikan.
She said this after handing over districts to 24 recipients from Kuching and Serian divisions at the Kuching Community Social Support Centre on Tuesday. As of May 31st, 2023, the Sarawak government has approved a total of 146 out of 686 applications received. The aim is to provide access to healthcare and education for individuals awaiting approval of their Malaysian citizenship status under Article 15A of the Federal Constitution.
Welcome back. Malaysia's global competitiveness ranking has up by 5 spots to 27 from 32 last year, according to the World Competitiveness Ranking 2023. According to International Institute for Management Development or IMD report, Malaysia's improvement in the rankings were mainly backed by its economic recovery, investment growth and bright spots in the exchange rate stability as well as the employment market.
While Malaysia's strength areas include prices, basic infrastructure, and tax policies, IMD pointed out that the country did not perform well in sub-factor rankings of business legislation, education, and societal framework. It added the main challenges for Malaysia to become a more competitive economy include talent development of industry-ready workforce, digital-first mindset for sectors, regulatory reforms for ease of doing business at national and subnational levels, and the pursuit of sustainable development. On the achievement, the Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry, MITI, said the positive ranking is a recognition of the Malaysian government overall efforts in strengthening its economic fundamentals. Published by IMD's World Competitiveness Center, the 2023 WCR is the 35th edition of the annual ranking and report, covering 64 global economies.
Now, the government has reaffirmed its stance against pegging the ringgit as a response to its weakening against the US dollars, citing potential adverse effects on the people. First Deputy Finance Minister Dato Sri Ahmad Mazlan acknowledged the concerns surrounding the ringgit's performance, to which pegging the currency could have implications that outweigh the immediate benefits and undermine Malaysia's ability to pursue its monetary policy.
Alangkan OPR kita 3.0 pun rakyat sudah merasa amat tidak selesa. Ini kan pula jika dinaikkan pada 5.25. Satu lagi, kawalan aliran modal. Dia tidak akan bebas kerana keluar masuk pelaburan asing ke dalam negara kita akan dikawal. Apabila kita tambat nilai ringgit, maka ia tidak baik dan jejas keyakinan dan daya saing kita di peringkat antarabangsa.
He said this during an oral question and answer session at the Dewan Negara on Tuesday. He was replying to an additional question from Senator Datuk Shamsuddin Abdul Ghaffar, who wanted to know if the government would peg the ringgit. Ahmad further added that the government remains committed and focused on implementing structural policies that are able to increase economic growth and the country's competitiveness in order to attract inflows of funds and foreign investment that will support the ringgit. This includes policies to improve Malaysia's investment climate and productivity through the implementation of the new investment policy.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security is looking into the proposal to set up a special agency to improve food security as a national agenda. Its Deputy Minister Chan Foon Hin said the idea to establish the agency came about at a National Action Council on Cost of Living meeting earlier this year as one of the initiatives to tackle cost of living.
He said that a preliminary study conducted by the KPKM found the establishment of a National Food Security Agency should encompass 4 main aspects, namely the elements of availability, accessibility, food security, as well as stability and sustainability.
Oleh itu, penubuhan Agensi Security Makanan Negara memerlukan penilaian lanjut berkaitan implikasi perundangan, kewangan sumber manusia dan penyelarasan semula fungsi serta peranan antara kementerian.
He said this during a question and answer session at the Dewan Negara sitting earlier today. Chan said that in an effort to improve food security, the government is also adopting an inter-ministerial approach to ensure that the national food system is stable and runs efficiently and productively. In addition, he said KPKM was committed to ensuring food security, establishing a resilient national food production system, as well as helping food producers.
In business update, Astro Malaysia Holdings Berhad is maintaining a cautious outlook for the remainder of the financial year as its net profit for the first quarter plummeted by 84% to 15.9 million ringgit compared to 100.02 million ringgit in the same period the previous year. The company said it will carefully monitor business conditions while prudently managing its costs.
The pay TV operator also posted a 7.38% drop in revenue to 891.13 million ringgit from 962.09 million ringgit previously. It noted the lower revenue was due to the decrease in subscription revenue, advertising revenue, and merchandise sales. Earnings per share also decreased from 1.92 cent to 0.3 cent. Despite the challenging numbers, Astro remains committed to its transformation to be the preferred entertainment and streaming destination for Malaysians by investing in more content across all platforms, including its streaming and lifestyle apps. The cautious outlook is also driven by macroeconomic headwinds, such as slowing global growth, a strong US dollar, relatively high interest rates, and moderate but elevated inflation.
Singapore-based Grab Holdings Limited is preparing its biggest round of job cuts since the COVID-19 pandemic. Citing a report from Bloomberg News, the layoffs are set to be announced as early as this week and is likely to surpass the layoff in 2020 that saw the staff shrank by 5% or about 360 employees. However, Grab's media team declined to comment. The ride-hailing and meal delivery service provider saw its revenue jump 130% year-over-year to $525 million in the first quarter of 2023. Nonetheless, it continues to face stiff competition across the region and freeze hiring since December. Grab currently operates in 8 Southeast Asian countries, including Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand. And that's all the time we have for TVS Nightline. I'm Dr. Elliot. Thank you for watching.